How to be more likable. Stop being weird to begin with, okay? Like, there's some very obvious things that everybody can do, and we got a little list that's right here. And this video is going to be incredibly quick, mostly because a little bit of inside baseball on this one. I just recorded my for the main channel. This is the Trump announcement for presidency. So it's been a long old day, and my voice is a little bit hoarse. So you're going to notice that as well. So for the sake of everybody listening to this, and the fact that, you know what, hey, I'd like to opine on this topic just a little bit, okay? Some people are born naturally charismatic, okay? That is a big old falsehood that is out there. That is one of those things that you learn, that you pick up different traits that are out there, okay? Because the guy that you see in front of you, okay, I know I'm not all that in a bag of chips, okay? I know, like, I'm good looking and tall and all that kind of fun stuff, okay? But I wasn't quite as eloquent. You can even go back in the cut way at the beginning of the main channel, okay? In late August, early September, when I was first making the channel, okay, there was a lot more like throat clearing and all that stuff. Like, my voice wasn't quite as developed as it was. I was sitting in the chair that's actually right in front of me, okay, a little bit more behind baseball on this one, because now you're getting everything all set up, okay? Everything was completely different. I wasn't quite as off the cuff. I didn't have the same vocal intonation. I wasn't quite as animated as I used to be. I was a lot more fearful in front of the camera. I had to develop that presence, just like I had to develop myself as an adult, okay, just to be more charismatic in public, okay? Because me as a kid, way different. That's why it used to be, oh, Donald when he was growing up, okay? And then somewhere along the line, and it's a story for another day, a switch flipped, and then all of a sudden the persona of Don went from being a persona that I would put on for public facing to just, well, really just being Don, okay? Like, I'm just me 24/7. You're seeing a little bit more of it, okay? Like, if we are to ever meet in person, whoever is theoretically watching this whoever is theoretically watching this video that's out there, we're probably going to have a back and forth conversation, okay? But I'm not going to talk this much, mostly because I'm just trying to fill up air, okay? I'm just trying to get my points across, and just whatever comes to mind, I'll talk about and elaborate on, and maybe we'll get to a conclusion at the end of the day. But if we're having a back and forth conversation, thanks to my training as a certified personal trainer as well, another thing that I needed to become more charismatic in order to properly pursue, because I have a deep-seated, I just have a desire to help people, okay? Like, I have different ideas of, it's going to sound weird and it's going to sound a little bit off, but how people should function, and I hate prescribing anything like that, because mostly the prescription of what works for me isn't indicative of your future success. Just because I was able to shed 200 pounds, okay, in order to be the person that you see before you in this little tiny box that's right here, okay, I wasn't able to shed the nervousness. I wasn't able to prescribe to you the different things that led me to be successful in all of the endeavors in which I care to partake in, okay? What worked for me might not work for you, but I have a couple of ideas, okay? Some different descriptive habits that are out there. I'm not going to prescribe you anything. All I'm going to do is just break down stuff, show you why it works, and if you'd like to try it, go forth and take the information, okay? I want the world to be better, okay? That's the reason why I went to school. That's the reason why I got my exercise physiology degree. That's why I am a certified personal trainer, because I want to see people healthy. I want to see people live long, fantastic lives in the best possible shape that they can possibly present themselves in. That's what I want for everybody that's out there. And I also want people to be able to look at the news and decipher it from either the propaganda that is out there or from the nuggets that are actually somewhere lodged in there, to decipher the two and then come forward with a much more clear perspective on the world. That's what I'd like to see for people that are out there, okay? I genuinely want good for the world, and then mix in a couple of, other red pill topics that are out there, okay? That's what I want. It's going to sound utopian and stupid and quasi-communistic, but I just want people to get along. I just want people to, decipher the truth from the nonsense and live in as much harmony as you can get. I know that's, super idealistic and not likely to happen in my time. But if you're hearing this message, chances are you want something similar to that. And the only way that you can do it is becoming the change that you want to see in the world, and becoming a little bit more charismatic, being a much more effective public speaker, either to an audience of 1 or to an audience of 100. becoming more likable, more presentable, more articulate is a necessary fact of life. We all know somebody who can arrive at a party or meeting full of strangers and within a few hours later having made several new friends. Here's how they do it. Smile and nod. Actively be listening. Okay, that's what you should be doing. That's what I can see here in the first 2 points. Okay, you just lump them together. Actively listen. A genuine smile is a very effective nonverbal signal that lets people know that you are enjoying being in their presence. Charismatic people radiate a positive attitude by nodding as the other person speaks, smiling when the other person smiles, and mirroring the other person's body language. Yes, indeed. Okay, and then you can also tell how engaged somebody else is. This is just a little, once again, another little inside baseball tip. Okay, if you're having a long, drawn-out conversation with somebody else, I'm looking at a theoretical person that's standing right over there. What you're wanting to do, okay, if you're wanting to really relate to them, okay, they're explaining their side of the conversation, you just want to, okay, cool. Just a couple of little interjections that are out there, okay, maybe just a couple of words that would have them elaborate on that topic a little bit more, just, because the easiest thing, if you ever need to spark up small talk with somebody, is have them describe something about themselves, something that they're proud of, and then just poke and prod, because people want to talk about themselves more than anything else, because it's the topic that they have the most interest and then also experience with. So you just have somebody elaborate on their own situation. It's just an endless wellspring of information that's out there. Okay, so just ask a couple of prodding questions. Okay, and then just add up on that one, and then just anything that logically comes along. It's like, how did you? If you're asking somebody about what do you want to do for a living? Okay, what do you want to do for? Oh, that's cool. How did you come to that conclusion? Okay, why do you want to do that? You got to go to school for that? Where do you got to go to school for that? And then hopefully that'll just continue to spark off further conversation. Okay, don't ask closed-ended questions, things that can be answered with a yes or a no, or just a bifurcated answer. Okay, something that requires elaboration. If you're looking for small talk, if you're looking for conversation, then also just adding in is like, and just smiling along if they say something that they're trying to make funny, because not everybody's going to be the most charismatic person that you're trying to interact with. Some other people just are naturally wallflowers. People are just you take a look at the sociosexual hierarchy that's out there. Most people are just kind of boring, but if they're given the opportunity to just blossom in conversation, you just give them the little nudge and just make them feel like they're being heard, and they will elaborate, and you will just make new friends just at the drop of a hat. It's really not that hard. Just take that first step, because most people are begging for attention. You give them a little bit and they will take a mile. Just don't be a doormat for anybody. But yes, of course, smile and nod, be receptive, listen to what they're saying. Okay, and if you do that appropriately, if you just mirror their body language, like if they're standing with their hands on their sides, or maybe like their fingers in their pockets with their thumbs hanging out, okay, where you could like fidget around, hook your thumbs in your belt loops or whatever they're doing. Okay, just also point your feet towards them whenever you're talking to them, because then that shows that you're here for the long haul. Just kind of move side to side. Okay, and then just to see whenever you're delivering your half of the conversation, if you just decide to change up the body language a little bit, because sometimes when I'm talking to somebody, if we're talking for a long period of time, I'll fold my hands behind my back like you see me do right there, and if they try to do something similar to that, like if they cross their hands behind their back as well, or just rest them on their buttocks or something like that, then hey man, that they're engaged in that conversation. So you want to mirror the little body language that's out there. That's what they're trying to talk about right here. And then also at the end of a punctuative statement or anything like that, you just okay, that's when you can interject with your follow-up questions as well. Also a no to avoid frowning, smirking, or making other negative facial expressions. Smirking can be interesting, especially if somebody's mentioning something that just seems a little bit on the slide. It's like, I know what you're talking about. Hey, but this is always in context of the conversation, of course. Pay attention, like I was saying before, so you know exactly how to continue and carry on the conversation. Or if somebody's like, okay, stop talking, just go on with your time, you can be like, oh yeah, okay, cool. No, you can pick up on social cues. Okay, people like others who listen to their stories and make and maintain eye contact. It's rude and disconcerting to be looking everywhere except at the person who's talking or is a part of the conversation. Or some people are just really uncomfortable, because I need to actually break down the statistics of people on the spectrum, the autism spectrum, not the other one that's out there. But sometimes if you're making eye contact with somebody and they're having a tough time blinking, you don't need to be looking at them the entire time, staring them down like you're trying to size them up like Ted Bundy, knowing where you need to make the different cuts in order to have the different types of steaks and stuff. It's like you can break eye contact a little bit, survey the room a little bit as well, but then always whenever you're trying to deliver at least the first part of your message and then close out the rest of your message, make sure that you make eye contact, or at least try to. That's what I would recommend, okay? If you're uncomfortable or the person that you're talking to is uncomfortable with direct eye contact. Same thing if you're public speaking, okay? You can make eye contact with somebody who's in the front row. You can do that for a little while, deliver part of your message, and then look around to the other part that's out there, and then try to make eye contact with somebody else. It's a way to engage the crowd and not single out somebody or just pander to the darkness that's out there, okay? Ask appropriate questions to learn about them, such as how do you know the host, or did you grow up here? I would say, oh, are you from around here? There's one situation, okay? Those are very specific situations. Did you grow up here? Okay, that is an open-ended question, yes or no, okay? Are you from the area? Okay, same thing, okay? But then that also just has a natural lead-in. It's like, oh, you're from somewhere else, okay? What was that like? Okay, well, how long have you been here? That you can follow down with a couple of specific pointed questions, but then always, if you're ever just looking for continuous conversation topics, just open it up a little bit more. Just ask them how questions instead of pointed questions. Listen more than you talk. Everybody has their different percentages, but in a good conversation, just like a good interview, okay, you should be talking 30% of the time. The person that you're trying to engage should be talking about 70% of the time. That's the kind of rubric that I follow, but your mileage may vary. Be honest. Yeah, of course, you don't need to elaborate. You don't need to extend anything. You should be honest because, especially as a man, your word is your bond. Okay, you're only as good as the quality of person that you present yourself as. Even when talking to people you may never see again, stretching the truth can come back to haunt you sooner or later. So be upfront and honest, just as you want to be with others. Genuinely positive reactions are another way to connect. If they describe how you've climbed a local mountain or spearheaded fundraising for a local pet rescue charity, don't let them know that it's a great accomplishment. And also, if that's a first-time interaction with somebody, you don't need to lord that over them because that just looks like it's like, wow, this guy really wants you to know that he's a really good person. You can always just throw that in on the side, okay? Especially if they end up talking about, oh, you like pets and stuff. Oh yeah, the dog owner, the host, he's got little dogs. You're so cute. And it's like, okay, I like smaller dogs. They're all really cute, especially the ones that just kind of look like, miniature border collies. What are they called? And somebody's a big dog enthusiast and they spend a bunch of time at the SPCA or something like that. Then you can throw in a little slide. It's like, oh yeah, I've also done that too. Hey, there's a local charity, a little rescue that's around here because sometimes, you don't like to see a stray dog. You just like to see them, taken care of because pets are just so innocent, right? And then you can just hand off the conversation from there. It's really simple when you know how to do it. Don't be that person who hears such things and immediately tries to top them. Oh, everybody knows that person, okay? You're trying to tell a really heartfelt story or something that you at least think is of consequence, an accomplishment that you have out there. And then you'll have somebody either chime in with something that's just slightly better or something that has nothing to do with anything in order to just get points. It's like, wow, I'm so glad that you accomplished that. Do you feel better derailing this conversation? Okay, thanks. We're going to go somewhere else. But you could also kind of play that off too if it's somebody of the opposite sex that you're attracted to and somebody comes in and tries to big time them and it's like, wow, this conversation's going nowhere. Would you like to go to somewhere quieter? And then you can kind of thank that guy later. But anyways, be open-minded. Yes, of course, because there's another old saying that's out there, and one that I really do like, unless, of course, you're just talking to somebody who has nothing of value to offer, okay? Always enter a conversation, especially with somebody who's going to be in good faith with you, okay? That's always the predicating factor, at least for me, okay? If you know you're going to be engaging in a good faith conversation, come in open-minded because there's something that person knows that you don't, that you might have use for someday. As you chat with a new friend or those you've known for years, find things in common to discuss, such as having dogs wearing the same brand of watch. Wow, that's a very superficial nonsense, okay? Or love of mutual sports or music, okay? As you listen, be open-minded. Not everybody will share your point of view, but like you, they are entitled to their own opinion. Yeah, but what if their opinion sucks and they're reciting just outright lies about something? This happens all the time. You know something is completely wrong. You can try politely to correct somebody the next time that you have the opportunity to just rephrase the topic with the correct information that's out there. Or if somebody's just kind of wondering, it's like, oh, what was that? Was that in 78 or 79? I can't quite remember. Actually, it was in 82. It was during, and then you could just add additional context to that. And it's like, all right, yeah, thanks, man. And it's like, I really appreciate that. That's the only time when correcting somebody is really necessary, because if it's just kind of an ancillary point to the overall topic being discussed, it's not worth pointing it out, because it's like, okay, thanks, great, thanks, tips, because then people are fickle, because that might end up insulting them. It might be taken as a slight or something like that. You don't need to put yourself in that situation. That's just an immediately unlikable trait. And it's usually best to avoid politics or other sensitive topics, unless of course you're at like a Trump fundraiser and it's like, boy, you like Trump? I like Trump too. Let's kiss. No. And the final point that they have here, be reliable. Be there, sorry, okay? Being reliable is a quality highly valued in friends. From a 2 a.m. call for help changing a flat tire to arriving to a dinner on time. If a friend is calling you at 2 a.m. in the morning to change a flat tire, just be like, okay, well, AAA's phone number is 1-800 to arriving at dinner on time. Yeah, no, being late for anything is unacceptable, and that just shows that you are a lesser quality of human being, and I won't take you seriously. It sounds harsh, but I run a tight ship. Knowing that you can be counted on to show up with a smile earns you a lot of likability points. There means nothing. Being there means not making the conversation all about you. No one likes a know-it-all narcissist, and if you're pressed for time but they want to talk, be upfront about your schedule and make plans to get together at a more convenient time. I like all of these points, and I will leave you with one quality one at the end, okay? And one that I picked up from a book that, I'll be completely honest, it's highly rated and it's recommended by a lot of people that are out there, but I've read it twice and I just thought, maybe I'm like really stupid and I don't get it. But I read through it again and it's like, no, my initial take on this is it's garbage. And I've read some books of varying quality and I've made some recommendations. I think that, and I'm pretty solid on those as well. But Start With Why, Simon Sinek's book. That one's recommended by so many people that are out there. But there is one good takeaway. And this might have even been from his TED Talk or a podcast appearance, okay? So I might be attributing it to a book that I think is just overall garbage. I have it over there on my bookshelf, but it's just a big, knob suck for Steve Jobs and the former CEO of Southwest Airlines. So it's like, okay, well, whatever. If I wanted to read a half-assed biography of Steve Jobs, I would have picked up his biography and just, read about the tyrant at Apple, who actually, funnily enough, wasn't all that likable to begin with. He is a genius, but you catch more flies with honey than you do with arsenic, or whatever he was taking to cure his very curable form of pancreatic cancer. What a dolt, but whatever, another topic for another time. But the biggest takeaway from that book right there was be upfront, be forward with what you want. Don't try to butter anybody up at the beginning, because we've all got those messages from people who try to tell you things like, okay, oh, we should we really need to catch up, we need to go to dinner sometime, oh my gosh, it's been so long since I've talked to you, but hey, I'm running this campaign and I could really use like $100 donation for it, or anything that you can give, really. So if you could just get back to me, I really like to go to that dinner, man. That would really mean the world to me. But again, I'm running for this campaign. It's going to be closing here within a couple of weeks. It would be really great if you could get back to me. We can catch up later. Okay, thanks. If you get that type of message, anything like that, where it's like, okay, cool, I see what you're doing right here. You're just trying to soften me up before you get to the blow. The way that I communicate with people, and it was very good. It was very instrumental, and it helped me out quite a bit. Just be upfront with what you want. Hey, if you're approaching somebody in the exact same situation, somebody that you haven't heard from a while, but has really good connections, or somebody who is really wealthy and could help you out with your current situation, come to them either in a phone call, face-to-face, email, whatever your means and methods of communication is going to be for that. Listen, running this campaign, I could really use a contribution, and I know it's been a while since we've talked, and hey, it would be a great opportunity for you, and I think that I could really add value to you in this certain form and fashion. I know it's been a long time, and wouldn't come forward to you unless it was a great opportunity for you and something that I truly believe in. It'd be really great to reconnect in the future, and if you would like to discuss this opportunity a little bit further, drinks are on me. Talk to you soon. That one right there, especially when you're trying to reach out to people of any substance that are out there, they don't want their time wasted, okay? So if you're upfront and honest, with what you're looking for, you will see more results than through the backdoor kind of snaky, slimy means and methods of doing that. That also takes a certain personality type, okay? Other people, you know, hey man, they'll just try to butter you up. They will try to be likable and charismatic before they spring the trap on you. Me, a little bit more direct. I get away with that because I'm who I am and I'm congruent with my words and my actions. Those are just a couple of tips that worked exceptionally well for me for developing the persona and the personality that I have right now. If they can work for you in the future, I will be super happy for that. And I'm just glad that you took the time in order to watch this video and learn a couple of those tricks. If you want to refresh yourself with this article that's right here, it'll be in the description down below. But until then, I thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone. And just notice the timer that's on there, and this went way longer than I anticipated, but yeah, it was a lot of fun now, wasn't it? Catch y'all later.